Okay, for some reason, it doesn't let you share the screen and stop sharing the screen while you're broadcasting live, and it just made it very, very frustrating. And I wanted to do the math of how much can you earn as a CAM model, because it's a lot easier when you know the math than you know what you're doing when you're working, because it just makes it easier that you're not like working and don't know what you're working towards. So I did some math. Yeah, you can see some numbers written there, but just so you guys can see it, because I can't share the screen, we're gonna have to use Siri and use the calculator. So yeah, it didn't work. I have to delete that post in the group. But yeah, so you guys are gonna comment this on the replay. I'll upload this on YouTube, and yeah. So the way I see it as, minimum wage where I live is going to be $15 an hour, right? And then when I look on the labor board website, it says that maximum allowed to work in a day is 8 hours with a 48-hour no working day, which means right off the bat, if you look at legally requirement working rules, 5 days a week, 2 days off, 8 hours a day. Now, when you're full-time at home doing webcamming, people don't even think of setting a schedule. I don't know why. They just don't think of setting a schedule of work. So this is where it helps to look at what's minimum wage, what you're supposed to do, and that just sets the foundation. So we know that webcam sites will pay you the minimum threshold when you reach your earnings, that they'll send you a check, whether it's $10, $20, $25, $50, or $100. That is the minimum agreement in the contract for working these websites, that if you earn that amount of money, they will send you the check. And you've seen me get those checks for pretty much the minimum amount that these checks are being sent to me. You've seen it with iFriends, you've seen it with StreamMate, and then today I made the minimum amount from cams.com. So I do it all the time. And it's more because of like, I have other income, so I don't always need to put all my pressure on earning all my income from webcamming. The only reason now I want to earn more from webcamming is because I want to see my checks become bigger like they were when I started when I was 18. Now I'm 33. Things are a little bit different. Plus, webcamming for me is very, very boring in the sense that the customers say all the same things. I log on, I do the same show. I don't really change a lot because it doesn't need to change in that sense. So it feels very robotic. It feels very Groundhog Day. And my only thing that I make a game out of, I make excitement out of, is how much money can I make? How do I make this money? How do I make this money? How do I make this money? Which is pretty much webcamming. That's why I post of the big tips I get in my room from guys that are tipping me in my room, or my screenshots of when I get checks, because getting the check is the most excitement you're going to get from doing webcam. I can tell you that right now. That is the most excitement. So based on that, $15 an hour will be the new minimum wage in my country as of January 1st, 2019. So calculator says this: $15 an hour times 8 is $120 a day. We know the minimum payout from StreamMate, iFriends, is $100. That's $100. So if you just work one solid day and make that much money, those two websites will pay you. But the thing about webcamming, they don't stop you from how many hours you choose to work. You're not paid by the hour, you're paid by commission, which means the 24 hours in a day is completely up to you to decide when are you going to work. Great. So We know that $15 an hour is minimum wage. Legally, the country says you got to work 8 hours on one day. Then, almost dropped my phone. Then, the next thing is they allow you to work 5 days a week. Now, that's $600 a week. $600 a week times 52 weeks is this much money. Yeah, that is minimum wage where I live right now. This is minimum wage before taxes. I'm not even thinking about taxes right now because I do my taxes at tax time based on the fact that I'm an independent contractor and based that I have business expenses that I will claim with my accountant at tax time, where this becomes revenue instead of before tax dollars as being an employee where the job puts aside taxes for thing. That doesn't happen when you're a CAM model. You're an independent contractor. This is revenue. It no longer becomes before tax income and after tax income. It becomes revenue. Then you do expenses. Like there's just certain things, business operations of being a CAM model independent contractor that you have to be mindful of where that money is going and keep the receipts. And then also in Canada, they have a whole thing about this GST number that you get because of your remittance collecting reimbursement on taxes. Like there's a whole thing about that. And then also you want to make sure you put money in your retirement account. And then US has your 401k and then your ROA. You guys know what that is. If you're in the US, you know what your retirement accounts are. When you're self-employed, you get a self-directed account. Same thing in Canada. That's as much as that I know about those two things. Then you will get a statement from that, from the institutions that have that, and then you bring that to your accountant at tax time, and they do the tax accountant math, and you figure it out. But just for the mere fact of you have to make, where's that calculator again? You have to make $200 is your point, your starting point. If you cannot do this working webcam, you're going to have to think about getting a minimum wage job that will pay you this amount of money. That's pretty much it. Like if you can't make minimum wage at home, on your own terms, on your own schedule, working from your own computer, like in your own environment that you create as comfortable as possible, then webcamming is not for you. Like it's that simple. It's just not for you. If you can't figure out how to make minimum wage at home where you have no commute, there's no buying your lunch, there's no sitting in traffic, there's no lunch, like all those things a job would have for you to get minimum wage and commute and traffic and bus fare and spending money on gas and stuff. If you can't do that at home in the comfort of your own space, it's not for you. It's that simple, because it goes based on two things. Websites legally say in the contract they will pay you a minimum amount if you reach that in earnings. That should be your daily target when you're brand new, to do whatever you can to see the website send you your first paycheck, whatever that is. Like that's it. That's the first stepping stone of this is legit, I'm making money, let me do it again. Then your next like target step is to figure out what is minimum wage where you live, and then figure out how to make that every single day for like 3 months at home by yourself. Like if you can make minimum wage at home, there's no reason you need to leave your house to go get a job. Like, yeah, like that's just how I break it down as simple as possible. Is those two things. If you can't do those two things, this is not for you. It's that simple. And it's because of like webcamming in itself, there's a lot involved to do the job. And then if you're not making minimum wage, then yeah, you need to go get a job anywhere in your place where you're at that will pay you minimum wage to serve coffee, to serve fast food, to answer phones, movie tickets, whatever that is, that's minimum wage where you are, they have to pay you once they hire you minimum wage. That's it. And then if you're in that minimum wage thing and you hate it, then yeah, you should have the motivation to go home and work. So you don't have to go back out there and do it again and have a boss tell you have to wear a certain uniform. You got to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or like you have to learn all the policies and procedures of a company that's not yours so they can pay you the minimum legal amount they have to pay you because you are employed. Yeah, like it's a toss-up. You want to bag groceries for minimum wage, or do you want to be home on your computer in a webcam site to get guys to tip you enough money? Like a guy could tip you $5, and that could be 1 hour worth of minimum wage. Like I don't think people even understand the math when it comes out that way. So you can get a lot more tips at home than you would get tips at a restaurant being a server or like a bartender. Like it's just the way I see the math of doing this work. And yeah, so like the math is pretty simple. How much can you make? Can you reach these targets? It's more of the question. It's not even how much can you make, because how much can you make could be a limited amount of income. But can you reach the minimum targets of earnings? That is a whole different question. That is coming to a whole different approach. That's a whole different mindset when you look at it of, can I make $10 an hour or can I make $100 this hour? That is what you need to focus on, because once you hit those numbers and you stop working until the end of the pay period, whenever it ends, like StreamMate is Sunday to Saturday, which I should be online right now, but I'm not. I'm here. So I look at if I made $100 on Monday and I stop working, Sunday will show up. Then Thursday the next week, StreamMate will mail me that check. I've done my minimum requirement. StreamMate has done their minimum requirement. And if I do nothing else, a week later, that check's in the mail. Great, I made $100. Awesome. So you could pretty much log on, make $100 every week, and make $5,200. That's it. Like really. Like here's the calculator again. $100 a week. That's all you do. $100. You got 52 weeks in the year. That is your annual potential target income from one webcam site that has a minimum payout amount of $100. That is it. If you cannot make this number, this is not the job for you. Like it's that simple. Some people can't even make this number. I don't even know how. Like I don't know. And then I'm in Canada, so let's add 30% to this number. Yeah. I mean, I can't live off of this number if this is my annual income. Like, it would be ridiculous. But it does tell me that, hey, if I can't meet this, because it's money I never had before, and doing work that's not a typical thing. It's not. I mean, it's more typical now because this industry is 20 years old. But yeah, focus on making the minimum amount. Like that's what it is. Focus on making the minimum amount. And then when you've had experience and you've been doing it consistently, you've been seeing those checks come in on a regular basis, you want to increase your targets. You want to do more. Like right now, my goal is 30,000 times 6 websites. That's my new target for the year. Yeah, which breaks down to about $500 a day. Yeah, because I'm at the place now where I know I can make the minimum. I can make the minimum pretty quickly. I can make the minimum in my sleep. I can do minimum wage in my sleep. Now I gotta do big numbers. Yeah. And yeah, this is the American, where'd it go? Yeah, that's the American dollar amount. So when I add 30%, yeah, before tax. This is gross. Then I do my expenses. Then I probably pay 40% of taxes on this thing. But I've done it all by myself in the comfort of my own home, being an independent contractor, creating my own economy, where this at home, and I didn't go anywhere. All I did is shower, make breakfast, put on lingerie, and get back online for this. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It really is. Like it's that awesome. So like if you can do it, great. If you can't, I'm hoping whatever you're doing is giving you the income level that you desire. Like, yeah, and then here, like the longer you're in something, your income should be increasing or maintaining your lifestyle that not many things go up in price. Like if you're, my rent is a good example of something that doesn't go up that drastically in price. If I choose to live in this building until I die, which will never, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's just not happening. That's not on the list of things. And of course, your bills are kind of low. You don't have a lot of debt and things like that. If you want to maintain a baseline income that you always want to have and your rest of your lifestyle doesn't change, yeah, that's where you start. And then you increase as you grow as a person, because that's what happens. Like there's certain things in your life that you need for baseline happy and baseline security and baseline safety. And then there's other stuff that are nice to have, want to have, and it's just because that you are self-sufficient enough making the money that you want to increase things. So this is how I break down the question of how much can I make as a CAM model. It's not about how much can you make. It's set a target and how often do you hit that target. That is what you need to focus on. So yeah, leave your comments below. I will look at them if they make sense. Some of you guys on my YouTube channel are not posting comments that make any sense at all, which, yeah, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Like that's what it is. That's why sometimes like it's just, yeah, there's nothing that exciting out of it. It's just, these are the numbers, these are the targets. The job requires you're in a room, you're live, you're friendly, you're flirty, you're attentive, you're talking to people in your room. They tip you, they take you private chat, they join your fan club, they send you gifts, and you repeat that thing every single day, to keep getting your targets every single day, and your target every single day, and your target every single day. But they keep doing the exact same thing. The questions are exactly the same. Like, where are you from? Can I meet you? Show your ass. Like, those all day long. To do this all day long. To do the math all day long. Yeah. So the next thing really is if a CAM model can handle being asked the same things every single day, over again, to do this over again. Because I can tell you this, like, it gets to a point where, great, the checks are coming in on a regular basis. The questions, the job task is exactly the same every single day. And you may feel like it's not at like the level of pressure people outside of this that give you for the job that you're doing. You really want to tell them to go fuck themselves, because it's not that serious when you know the math and when you hit the targets. And when you keep hitting the targets and you keep having the checks come in, people outside that are not doing this, they're just adding stress to something that doesn't need stress. That's the place I'm at right now, where I'm like, I need to focus on this. Did I hit this number? Did I do this? That's what I'm at right now. You need to focus on that. You need to do your math Figure out what you need to hit where you know this is worth it for you, and then repeat it over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So that's all I got for you. I try to come up with new stuff, but like honestly, there's not a lot of new stuff to talk about when it comes to this. It's not. Like it's really, really not. Like, yeah. So bye.